You know what's funny? In Singapore, if you hold cash, people will say, "Wah, you not investing, huh?" Or, "Inflation eating your money already, leh?" Like you're doing something wrong. But what if I told you the people holding cash might actually be the ones getting richer? Not because they are inactive, but because they are waiting for the right price, not chasing the wrong one. Just a quick disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. It does not take into account your individual financial situation, objectives, or risk tolerance. All investments carry risk, including the possible loss of capital. Dividend income is not guaranteed and may be reduced or stopped if business conditions weaken. Please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions. Chapter 1. Cash is not lazy. Let's be clear, holding cash is not laziness. It is strategy. The Singapore reality is, our market is very unique. It is dominated by DBS Group Holdings, OCBC Bank, United Overseas Bank, and REITs like CapitaLand Integrated Commercial Trust. These are income-driven assets. And here's the key: prices move, but income is what investors care about. So why does cash become powerful, especially here in Singapore when we're talking about REITs? Well, interest rates really drive everything. When rates go up, or when fear hits the market, prices tend to fall and yields actually go up. For example, a 4% yield can suddenly become 6% or even higher. Now, think about this carefully. If you're already fully invested at 4%, you're basically locked in. But the investor who still has cash on hand, they can step in, lock in that higher yield, and enjoy that boosted income for years to come. Here's a hidden problem that a lot of people don't really talk about: being fully invested. Many investors follow dollar cost averaging all the way until their cash hits zero. It sounds pretty disciplined, right? But when the market's correct, if you have no cash, you really can't take any action. And if you can't take action, you end up missing out on some great opportunities. Now, let's talk about something super important: the psychological edge. When the market drops, most people feel fear, stress, and honestly a bit of regret. But if you have cash ready, you feel prepared, you feel ready, and you feel totally in control. You actually move from feeling like a victim to becoming an opportunistic buyer. You know, SGX is often called boring, but when it falls, it can fall really quickly. That's because there's lower liquidity and, well, there are fewer buyers during a panic. That's when prices tend to overshoot, and yeah, yields can spike. But let's be fair here. Holding cash is not perfect either. There's always an opportunity cost. If markets keep going up for, say, 2 or 3 years, you'll miss out on dividends, and you'll miss compounding too. And in Singapore, dividends are actually a big part of your total return. So holding too much cash can actually slow down your wealth building. So the real goal isn't to be all cash or, have no cash at all. The goal is to have strategic cash, enough to act, but not so much that you miss the journey. Here's some Kopi wisdom for you. Cash isn't for timing the market perfectly. It's for not missing the moment when it matters most. Chapter 2. Why boring investing works. Let's be honest, income investing in Singapore is quite boring. No excitement, no hype, no overnight jackpot. Just collect dividends, reinvest, and repeat. But, this boring process is exactly what builds wealth. Our market really rewards consistency. Think about DBS Group Holdings, OCBC Bank, and United Overseas Bank. These are not trading counters. They are long-term income engines. Here's the truth. Most people don't fail because they aren't smart. They fail because they can't stay patient, and they just can't tolerate slow progress. Chapter 3. Don't chase high yield. Pay attention, because this is where most people get burned. You see 8%, 9% yield. Wow, very shiok. Feels like easy money. But ask yourself one question. Why is it so high? The Singapore reality is, in our market, most quality income assets typically yield around 4 to 6%. So if something is giving you 8% or more, the market is not being generous. The market is warning you. What high yield usually signals, especially in Singapore REITs, is this. High gearing, sometimes approaching the MAS 50% limit, rising interest costs eating into income, weak tenants or declining occupancy, and limited ability to grow without raising capital. And here's the real problem. So when the music stops, distributions get cut, prices fall, and confidence just, well, disappears. Now, your so-called 8% yield suddenly becomes lower income, plus capital loss. Here's the real lesson, folks. Income investing isn't about chasing the biggest number. It's about owning income that can actually last. Because, a boring 5% that grows steadily is far more powerful than a shiok 9% that just disappears. And here's the key insight. Always ask yourself, is this yield sustainable or is it just temporary? Because in Singapore, yield without quality is usually a trap. Here's a bit of Kopi wisdom for you. If the yield looks way too good to be true, it's not a gift, it's a question. And smart investors always ask why before they buy. Chapter 4. Protect your capital. Income investing is not just about yield. It's really about the survival of your income engine. Because once your capital is damaged, well, your future income gets damaged too. Many Singapore investors rely on dividends for daily expenses, supporting their parents, and even their children's education. So if your portfolio takes a permanent hit, your monthly income doesn't just fluctuate, it actually shrinks. If markets fall and you are forced to sell, you end up locking in losses, reducing your future dividends, and breaking your compounding. In simple terms, you are firing your own future income stream. So, here's something a lot of local investors might not realize. Many local portfolios actually look like this. It's just REITs and banks. And well, nothing else. Now, that might sound pretty safe at first, but let's pause and think about it for a second. If Singapore faces property sector pressure, higher borrowing costs, or even a local economic slowdown, your entire income engine could be affected all at once. Now here's the real shift that smart investors make. They don't just ask, how much can I earn? They also ask, how much can I protect and keep earning? And here's a key rule to remember. Don't interrupt your compounding unnecessarily. Because honestly, once that engine breaks, it can take years to rebuild. Let me share a bit of Kopi wisdom here. It's not about chasing the highest yield. What really matters is making sure your income is still there 10 years from now. Chapter 5. Avoid leverage. Alright, so some people think, dividend 6%. I borrow money, I earn more. Sounds clever, right? But honestly, it's actually very dangerous. So, what happens in a downturn? Well, prices fall, margin calls come, and you could be forced to sell, usually at the worst timing. Here's an important insight for you. REITs already borrow money internally, so you really don't need to double your risk. Chapter 6. Control your emotions. Markets will always be noisy. There's war, oil prices, interest rates, and of course, inflation. There will always be a reason to feel uncertain, but your income strategy must remain calm, stable, and long-term. Here's a truth for you. The biggest risk is not the market. It's actually how you react to the market. Because, honestly, panic leads to selling at the wrong time, losing future income, and breaking your compounding. Here's a bit of Kopi wisdom. Markets will test your emotions, but wealth really rewards those who stay steady when others don't. Chapter 7. How income investors win. In the Singapore market, money doesn't always flow to the smartest, It actually flows from the impatient to the patient. So what do smart investors in Singapore do when REITs drop? Well, they don't panic and they don't rush to sell. Instead, they accumulate gradually, lock in higher yields, and really, they just let time do the heavy lifting. Because, at the end of the day, they understand that income is built over years, not days. Final takeaway. So, what is the real takeaway here? For Singapore income investors, cash isn't just idle. It's actually optionality. Patience isn't slow. It's your edge. And discipline? It's not boring. It's your income engine. Try to focus less on chasing returns and more on building income that lasts. When the market gets noisy and everyone seems to be rushing, you don't have to follow. Because real wealth, well, it's built quietly. In the waiting, in the discipline, and in those decisions that others just don't have the patience to make. If this helped you see income investing a little differently, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to Wealth for You. And let me know in the comments, are you holding cash now or are you already fully invested?